Hey, Beady Besties. Happy Thursday, my loves. Happy Thursday. Oh my goodness. How did it get to be Thursday already? That's just crazy, my friends. Anyway, hello. Welcome in. I'm so glad that you're here today. I hope you all had just an amazing day doing whatever amazing things that you did today. Maybe if it was just work. That could be amazing, my friends. Don't discount yourself. You did amazing things today, and I'm proud of you. All right, guys, before we get into today's show, let's pull us a card. You got this, my friend. You certainly do. We're going to have fun today, friends. We're going to do a little Bargain Bead Box project. Super excited. All right, let's read today's card. Every day is another chance. My friends, it doesn't get much more simple than that. Simple and to the point, and so true. All right, friends. So what do we have today? Well, we have a necklace and earring set featuring our Bargain Bead Box sweater weather. So I did this necklace the other day, so I already have the pattern and everything, guys. So we're gonna, we should move right along with this project, and I'm gonna bring it in right now, hopefully, the abridged version. Cool. So let me bring you guys down a little bit. That's up, Kyle. Let me bring you guys down a little bit. And in frame. I don't even know if that, okay. There we go. And now you're seasick. So this will be the front portion of our necklace. So as you can see, we are using these flowers. I'm so excited. We are going to be using 1, 2, 3, 4 of those flowers. And then this back is going to make up the length of our necklace. So basically I have these two patterns between these flower bead caps, and they are mirroring each other. And then in between, I just have some beautiful beady goodness. We're going to be using these bicones as spacers today. But guys, I'm also going to bring in, oh no, where'd my basket go? Oh, I have it, friends. Hold on. We're also going to be bringing in some seed beads. These are from Danielle Wicks. I think they're called color lined or something like that, but I don't know. They're a very pretty saturated navy blue, and they almost look black, but they really are this very pretty. They they match the color of those flowers so well. We're also going to be bringing in some of our soft flex beading wire. We're using the dark blue lapis color. I love this color. This is probably one of my favorite soft flex colors. I love that. So of course we have our tubes. And yeah, we're also going to make earrings. Guys, my glasses are fogged up already. Are you serious? It's like as soon as I hit the lights, my body's like, oh, hot flash. Listen, body, calm it down, okay? All right, let's put this basket over here. I have to clean my glasses off. Sorry, friends. This is a mess. We're a mess already. This is why I have us all prepared, because I'm in active menopause, and I know that might be TMI. But this way we don't have to be here any longer than we need to be. So, okay, here we are, friends. We're going to be using these things. Yeah, but hold on. So while this is a beautiful pattern, we are going to have a little bit of a plot twist, my friends, and we're going to bring in some dangles. Okay. So we're going to have 3 dangles. And these dangles are going to hang at these spots. And then this dangle is going to hang here. We'll make that dangle together. So for that dangle, you're going to need a head pin. And you guys, I'm still working on these. Oh my God, these osteoporosis head pins. Hopefully we're through them soon, my friends, because I'm about over them. Let me pull one out that's not quite so bent. I'll put a couple out. You're also going to need some eye pins. And we have some of those too somewhere. Yeah, so you're going to need 2 eye pins. Let's pull out 2 eye pins. I was all prepared, I thought, anyway, and I think that's it. Oh, and a toggle. And guys, I'm going with this toggle class. So I want to get into a little bit about why I chose this particular design. And we're using this silver class because I want to keep it very cool. So something very interesting to me about this month's Bargain Bead Box is that you could separate the box into warm tones and cool tones. And I don't know why my brain decided to do that, but it did. So my first necklace, and I'll put the link in the video for that, was very warm tones. I used a lot of the, the red and the the antique gold findings and stuff. It was very warm and comforting, very fall-like. But as I was looking at the contents of the box, I said, wow, there's these blues that could be really, really cool as well. So wouldn't it be interesting to make a very cool project and then a very warm project? I just thought it'd be kind of interesting in the same box. Now, I will say we are using silver findings because blue is kind of funny. Blue is a cool color, absolutely. But if you pair blue with like copper findings or antique bronze type findings, it makes it a little bit more warm, right? Especially darker blues, right? Darker blues paired with like darker metal tones, richer metal tones, it tends to make it look a little bit more warm. So I wanted to keep it cool because this is purposely a cool tone necklace. So I decided to bring in silver. I just thought it'd be interesting. I mean, you know, weather's starting to get a little cooler now, guys. This could work. This could get you all through January because it could also be like winter flowers. Now, I know there's some gold speckles on these, and I've chosen to bring in the silver findings. That doesn't bother me at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit. So I'm just going to pour all the seed beads out because it just makes me feel good. All right, friends. So we are going to get our soft flex, and oh shoot. Oh, sugar doots. I forgot my my handy dandy tape measure. Oh my goodness, Kyle, what is happening? You thought you were doing so good and you're already, where is it? I found it. Jody would be so proud. You know what, before we start stringing, let's make our dangle, shall we? Let's just make our dangle, my friends. Let me get my tools, because again, I'm not prepared there either. We're either half prepared or not prepared at all, and it is what it is. All right. So first let's make our dangle, and we are using this guy. So in this design, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll be using 7 of these in the necklace, and I think 2 in the earrings. So we'll be using a goodly amount of this bead here. Let me bring in these pliers, and let me bring in these pliers. And because I have these fancy nylon inserts, we're just going to straighten that out real quick, like so. So guys, I hope you are having an amazing week. I cannot believe tomorrow is already Friday. When did that happen? My goodness. All right, guys, I'm going to take the very tip of my pliers and put it right there. And I'm going to bend the wire over the plier, creating this little bit of space that we're going to wrap in. Now, these head pins are, I think, like a 24 gauge. So they are very thin. So when working with head pins like this, I'm always going to want to wrap my loops. Simple loops on 24 gauge is just asking to have your heart broken. All right, guys, so we've centered that up. We brought that over here, and now we're going to wind her up. So we'll just take this one. And since this is called put breaks in between your words, we're just going to go ahead and wind her up like this, right? She's probably going to fracture a little bit. Oh, no, I got it all in one piece. Usually, like, a little piece will break off on your... It's always kind of fun. I don't know. If you do it faster, you can, like... Yeah, it's so much fun. But, guys, I don't, you know... I'm supposed to be instructing, not having fun. Even though, actually, instructing is really fun. It's a lot more fun than I thought it was. I feel like it's not really work at all, if we're being honest. It's very rewarding too. I never thought I would enjoy this, being on the other side of the camera as much as I do. All right, guys, let me bring in my little tucking pliers here because these have a little bit of a thinner tapered end. So we're just going to tuck this little we want to be very careful that we don't break anything here. Okay. And so that's what we have. All right. And then we are going to take one of these eye pins and we're going to open it up. Just up like that. We open this way. We never open apart. Then we're going to take this, and I guess it doesn't matter. They both look pretty good. Sometimes you'll have like a side that you think is prettier, like a back or a front, but that one worked out really well. So either side is fine. Okay. And then we're going to put one of these little flower caps on. And what I love about these caps are you won't really even see, I mean, it'll look like it's just hanging from that little cap. I just think that's so pretty. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and now instead of bending over the plier, right, we're going to make a simple loop. So we're going to take the plier down to the bead, and then we're going to hold everything in place securely, and we're going to just chomp down on our pliers, creating this bend with no space. That's really the difference between simple loops and wrap loops, is just the space that you put in there. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and cut. And cut about right there. Oh, these cutters. I think that, let me just make that a little tiny bit smaller. Oh no. I have to get new cutters. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll that beautiful bean footage. So we're going to take our plier. Oh my gosh. Kyle's having coordination issues today. All the way down to the, oh my goodness, you guys. Right there. We don't want that tip poking through at all whatsoever. And then we're going to go ahead and roll. And you can keep rolling. I like to take a little break in between my rolls. I'm not really sure why. That's just how I do it. And that's a really funky looking pea. But that's okay, friends. Because we're just going to go ahead and break its neck. I know that sounds cruel, but sometimes things need to be done. Okay. Now we're going to take our other eye pin. And we're just going to go ahead and give her a straighten. Because she's looking a little bent today. She maybe woke up on the wrong side of the bead bag. I don't know. I don't judge, friends. I don't judge. So we're just going to go ahead and we are going to open this eye pin. And then we are going to connect this guy. Close that up. And then I thought, because, you know, we have the matte beads in here and these are kind of dark and these are not real shiny. I thought this would be a good opportunity to throw beads across my table. I thought this would be a good opportunity to throw in a sparkle bomb. You know what I'm saying, guys? Okay, now let's make our loop. And it really doesn't matter because none of these beads are necessarily front facing or whatever, but I do like to keep my loops going in the same direction just for symmetry. But if your loops get a wonky, it's no, have no fear, my friend. Have no fear. You're still doing great. Okay. And cut that, and then we're going to roll that. Okay. And I went a little off on that one too, but oh, actually that one's not too bad. I'm surprised. Okay, and there we have that. And now we are going to make sure all of your things stayed closed, because sometimes if you wrap it too tight, it will open the bottom of your eye pin a little bit. I've had that happen before, friends. I promise you. Okay. So, what did I say? Jump ring. What size jump ring did we use, Carl? Okay. Oh, guys, and I also forgot to tell you, we're using crimp beads in between. So, I forgot to tell you about those. We have these little crimp beads here that we're actually going to string, and then the dangle is going to go over top of the crimp bead. And this is to kind of save your wire a little bit of abrasion. Also, I'm looking for the jump rings. Also, you know, there's a bead there, so you know your jump ring won't get snagged in between beads and hang funky. So we're just going to go ahead, and I think these are 6mm jump rings, 5mm jump rings, 20 gauge. Oh, I think we just got these too. They came in handy, friends. I needed them. All right, so let's open up this jump ring. I think that's the size we used. Yeah. Oh, but excuse me. Okay, we're going to open that and just attach that onto our dangle. All right, now we can start stringing, my friends. Oops. What is going on with you, my friend? Did you see that? It won't shut. Okay. All right. Perfect. Now let's measure some wire. Now, guys, we're going to be doing a kind of a double wire treatment here. So we're going to need to double up our wire. So I'm going to cut about, and this portion, I think when strung up, is about 10 inches long. So I'm going to actually cut us to like about 22 inches. Because we also actually, I'm going to cut 24 inches just to be on the safe side. Because we will also be doing some seed bead flourishy loops and things and stuff. So let's cut us enough wire that we're not struggling. It's probably more than we need, but guys, we also need wire for the earrings. So if we have enough left over, we can also use them in the earrings. So there's that. All right. Oh, this is going to make a mess if you do that, Call. That's going to hit the seed beads and everything's going to go flying. Hold on, let me bring it to a respectable distance. Okay. All right. So, yes, ma'am. Hi. You saying hi to the friends? Yeah. Oh, that's right, Danny. You're right. Mama needs to get some crimp beads. I appreciate you reminding me. How you doing today, Mama? What? Yeah. You're so... I know. Sorry, guys. Having a little conference with the fur baby. What? Well, I pick out crimp. Look at that. Crimp got right on my pliers. Look at that. I know, Mama. Go lay down. I just had her out walksy before this, so I know it's not that. I think she just wants to snuggle on the couch. You guys know, if you have dogs, she's not a dog friend. She's my child. So if you have children, then you know how they are. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to take these ends and we're going to bring them together. Okay, and then we're going to put on a crimp. Did I want to make seed bead loops at the end of this? That's the question. You know what, friends? That's right. I didn't do it in the sample piece. I had the idea afterwards, but I think we're going to put some seed beads on first. We're going to make this loop a little fancy, and it doesn't, I'm not going to count. I'm just going to put a bunch on. Maybe I'll count a little bit because it's hard for me not to count. I count everything. I count in my sleep, friends. I'm a counter. 4, 5, 6. These might be the triangles. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. 8, 9. We don't need a terribly large loop here. Maybe 10. Let's see what 10 looks like. I think we're going to need more than 10. So let's do 12. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I think that's a good respectable loop. Now our other loop that's going to be connected to this loop is going to be a little bit bigger. It is going to be a little bit bigger, I think. Or maybe we should make them the same size. Okay, so that was, I think, 12. Let's do 15. Let's do 14. 14's good, right? Or 15. Patricia's saying 14. I'm saying 15. I don't know. So let's just do 3 more because 3 is my favorite number. Oh, look, there's 4. Well, now we lost count. It's okay. It'll be fine. It's all going to be fine, my friends. It's jewelry. It's not, we're not, you know. Let's see how big this loop is. I like that. Okay. So now we're going to come back up here and we are going to bring these 2 wires together like so. And then we're going to put on a tube. Excuse my thumb, guys. It's been a couple days. We've been having some low energy and some, you know, not so great mental health, but that's okay. But unfortunately, sometimes when I have bad mental health, I pick at my fingers, and I do apologize. I probably should have put a Band-Aid on. Don't look at it, friends, after I just brought attention to it. I know. Okay, so we're going to put our tube here, and then we're going to use our magical crimping pliers. Hold on. How magical are they, Carl? Do you know how magical they are, friends? Stinking magical. All right, so we're going to put that right over our, oh no. We're going to put that right over our crimp. And you can bring it down from the... Ma'am, Papa is sleeping. No, Papa is sleeping. Okay, bring that back down. Ma'am. But you want to kind of make sure you're not crimping your dudes together. So I will push them as I crimp. I made that crimp. I push those out of the way. Just to make sure we don't need any casualties on this journey. You know what I'm saying? This is just a nice, fun journey. We want everybody to arrive safely. Okay, let's take a look at that, and she's looking good. All right, so now that's what we have. So we're going to load on, and it's very important, guys, that you're using beads that are big enough to fit over 2 pieces of wire. So these bicones absolutely do. So we'll put on 1 bicone, and I really enjoyed using these bicones as spacers because they're, I don't know, they're just a little bit squattier. Can you see that? They're not quite as bicony as our normal bicones. They're not quite as coney. They're more squatty. And I really enjoyed that. I think they play really nicely with these other beads. Okay. So we're going to put both, and then we're going to do one more. And then we're going to bring that all the way down. I was just talking so nice about you, my friend, okay? All right, so we're going to bring all those guys down to the end here. And that's what we have. And then we're going to put on our first flower. Now, guys, you want to make sure you're putting all your flowers on in the same direction. We also kind of want to separate our wires, because we want our top wire and our bottom wire to be separated. Okay, so this is our top wire and this is our bottom wire. We're going to take our flower and we're going to put our top wire through the front, and we're going to put our bottom wire through the back. Okay, and now I've done bracelets like this several times. Excuse me one second, guys, I have to take a sip. I all of a sudden had like a dry spot in my throat. It was crazy. Okay. So I've done this with bracelets several times, and it's the same application. So now you take both of these wires and we're going to pull them until that flower travels down. And then, as you can see, when you bring this over, this is actually the front of our necklace. So our flowers are going to sit front facing. I do want to pull that down a little bit more. I want a little bit of space in here, which is why another reason you want to choose a really nice bead stringing wire. And this one kind of blends in with my flower, which I was hoping. It's because you are going to see it. So you want it to be, you know, a pleasant color. Like if you had, you wouldn't want like, you know, I don't know, gold would look pretty too, but I think this blue looks really nice. All right. So we've created a little bit of space in there. So now we're going to bring these wires back together. And then we're going to do our, first little, so we're going to do a bicone. And then we're going to do one of these matte rondelles. They're so pretty. So we're bringing in, you know, the mattes. We're bringing in the shiny. We're doing it all, friends. And then we're going to put on our crimp bead. And this is just a regular old, like, size 1 or 2 crimp bead. You could also use a crimp tube here if you wanted. Or you could use a seed bead. You could use, I don't know if an 11-0 would go over both of these. I don't know why this crimp tube was giving me an issue. It was the same one that was just on, I just took it apart. But, you could probably use like an 8-0, right? It's any kind of small bead that your jump ring will fit over. I might have to bring in another crimp bead. I don't know what happened there. There we go. And I just have a little bag of them. I'm just going to put 1 or 2 over here, just in case. Okay, I'll just try that again. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to put on one of our dangles. And again, it doesn't matter what side, because they're kind of, you know, the same. There's no really right side or wrong side. And you're going to put that jump ring onto the wires. Okay, drop that down. And now we're going to finish our pattern with another of these rondelles. My goodness. Can we all cooperate? What is happening? Oh my goodness. Okay. And then a bicone. Oh my goodness. All right. Now we're going to slide. Sir, can you please return to your assigned seating? Thank you. Okay. And now we're going to slide all this stuff down. Keeping, this is the front of our necklace. So now we're going to create the space here that we want with this little set of beads. And it looks about the right distance. Looks about even, right? And then that's what we have. So we have this and we have our little dangle portion. So our middle dangle is going to kind of be our focal, right? So that's what we're working up to. So now we have to find, and sometimes you might have to separate these to find the top and the bottom. Okay. All right. So here's the bottom, here's the top. Our next flower is going to go on. We're going to do front side. The top is going to go through the front. And then the bottom is going to go through the back. Okay. And then we're going to take both sides and we are going to just pull. That was twisted. And we're just going to pull that down. Okay. Now we're going to flip everything over. And we have that on the front side. Now, guys, you are going to have to, you know, the one thing you have to sometimes do is work on your distance a couple times because things might come out of place. And it's okay. It's not hard to do, right? Just got to kind of adjust. So that's what we have. Okay. Now we're going to do our next section with our dangle. Trying not to twist them up too much here, so it's easier to find them when we're ready to put on our next flower. Okay, so we're going to do a bicone. Okay. Frosty guy. And then we're going to do our crimp bead. Where'd he go? And then our other frosty guy. Oh no, you're right, our dangle. Put our dangle. We're putting that jump ring through. Now, if you didn't want to use a jump ring and you just want to do on the I don't know if I suggest that because it's going to kind of get caught up a little bit. I think the jump ring just gives it that little bit of fluidity. But guys, do you. If you don't want to do a jump ring and you just want to do a loop, a simple loop on your eye pin and connect it, you can. Nothing's stopping you. You could probably just make a bigger loop. But see how like with the jump ring, it just dangles really nicely. I feel like if you were just to do the loop, these beads would fight a little bit. That's just my estimation. Okay. So this is, so we got our 1, 2 flowers. Now we're going to put on our next flower. So this is our middle, this is the middle of our necklace. Okay, here's our front. Oh, we are missing a bead. We are missing a bicone. Oh no. I jumped the gun on that one. I was so excited just to get this going. All right. Can you just, sir, why he keeps jumping off? What is happening with you? Thank you. Okay, slide that guy on. This is our top, right? Okay. Now we're going to put our flower on, front facing. That top goes through there. The front. And then the bottom goes through the back. We're going to take them and pull both ends together, and that will bring us down. Okay. And that's actually, that fell into place really well. Actually, I like that distance. A little bit out, a little bit. That's good. Okay. And now we're going to create our next dangle drop. So we're going to do our bicone on both strands. Okay, our frosty. And our crimp bead or seed bead, whatever you choose to put there. Okay. Okay, let's pull all that down and see what we're looking like. Oh my gosh, you guys, I forgot to put the dangle on. Goodness gracious. What? I moved it too. Did you see me? Of course you saw me. You were watching me. I moved it. I'm like, oh, you don't belong here, sir. And I totally just, it's okay. It's all right. It's been a week, my friends. Can you tell? All right. Oh my gosh. And it didn't go on both. It didn't go on any wires. What? Those wires. And also too, another good reason to have a bead there for it to be on is because the bead string wire, your jump ring could have more of a chance to slip through. But if you have it on a bead, it won't slip through as much. Like, unless it's a really teeny tiny itty bitty bead, but yeah. All right. Oh no. There we go. All right, let's pull this guy down. And then do your little spacing here. Okay, so that's what we're looking like. So this is kind of our necklace here, like this. We just have to add the one more flower. And then you will see the vision, my friends. You will see the vision. Okay, front facing. And then through the back. And then we're not going to put a dangle. Now we're just going to put on the same order of beads that we put on in the beginning. And then we're going to attach some more seed beads, and then we're going to do our toggle. Okay, so that's looking good. There we go. And so this is going to get a bicone. One of these decorative beads. Oh my. And another bicone. Somebody's snorty. She's snorfling. The raccoon's outside. She's snorfling the possums and the raccoons. All right, friends. Oops, oops, oops. No, don't fall off. My goodness. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, friends. So this is what we have. Isn't she beautiful? Right. So this is kind of the middle here with this middle dangle drop, and then it goes like so. I love it. So now how do we finish it, Carl? Well, we're going to put some, how are we going to finish it, Carl? Because I didn't put the seed beads on in the sample. Well, that's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What if we put, I know how we're going to do it. Okay. I know how we're doing it. We're going to put on, I'm a problem solver, friends. We're going to put our crimp tube on. And then we're going to collect seed beads on one of these strands. Let's see if that works. 1, 2. I didn't know if I was going to do seed beads on this side, honestly. But I don't know. I might not, because I don't know if it's going to look the same. Well, I don't even know if I have enough bead stringing wire to put a whole bunch of seed beads on, because I didn't think about that. And that's fine. We'll see what we can do here. I think that's looking pretty good. So now let's throw on one side of it, and it doesn't matter what side. We'll just throw this side on. Make sure that fits over your seed beads. Because again, I did not measure that. It might not. That's okay. We'll put that on later. We'll just put we'll put a bigger toggle on it. A bigger jump ring rather. Okay. So now we're going to pull this crimp tube up here a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy that has all the seed beads on it, and then we're going to go back through. And that's how we're going to solve that problem. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and pull that down. So we have that. Yeah, I'm just going to push this up a little bit more. So these loops on this side will be a little bit smaller than the other loops, and that's okay. Because we're doing an asymmetrical design on the stringing part anyway. I'm just trying to make sure all the spacing is good. And all of my, everybody is front facing. Are we loving that? Should I make it the same size loops? No, let's just do it this way. That's fine. Okay. There we go. And we're going to crimp right in here. create a little space for myself in here, because again, we don't want any casualties. And I know there's spacing in this necklace, so I know it's not going to be crunchy. Okay. And I'm trying to keep this loop kind of going the same way as the other one. I don't know why. I just feel like it's makes more sense. And I think we are just about good here. Okay. So now we're going to cut our tails off. All right. And now we are ready to connect our length portion. So again, this is what we have. Super cute. I like it. All right, so this is our length portion here. And so we're going to have to cut another piece of bead stringing wire. Now, let's measure this because, again, I thought this was about 10 inches. Yeah, about 9.5 inches. Okay. So we want this to be about, I think it would look prettier if it was shorter rather than longer. So I think we're going to make this about 19 to 20 inches. I think that's about around the good spot that we'd like. So let's cut another piece of bead stringing wire. And so we want to bead up about, because we also have this toggle, which is not quite an inch. Plus we're making some seed bead loops. So we want to bead up, I guess about 8 inches. I don't know. Let me just cut this wire here. We'll find out together, guys. I start getting flustered when I talk about numbers. But I'm going to cut myself about 15 inches here. Oh no. Well, there goes the whole spool. There she goes, friends. There she goes. Hold on. Oh, there she went. That's my chair. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta pick this up or Mike will get it and we'll go streaking through the house with all this bead stringing wire. Okay. There we go. Crisis averted. Okay, where's the little top? There she is. Oh my gosh, I really ate through this one, huh? Well, that makes me sad. I'm gonna have to buy some more. I hope this isn't one of the colors they discontinued. I love this color so much. Okay. All right, friends. Oh shoot, we're gonna need more crimp tubes. More crimp tubes. Yes, Danny, what is it, ma'am? I know, you're a good girl. I know you are. Yeah. All right. Oh no, I'm almost out of silver. Jennifer Miller, hello. Hello, Jennifer, help. No, I'm just kidding. I can go buy my own. Oh no, guys, is that the last silver one I have? Oh no, I got one more silver one. Oh no. We need silver crimps ASAP. All right. Oh no, I need a crimp for the earrings too. Oh shoot. Hopefully I have another one. I didn't see one, friends. We might have to sneak a beetle on tube in there. I don't normally like doing that, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. All right. We'll see what happens. All right. So let's just ignore this front portion for right now and bring you down to this top portion. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a crimp tube on. And then we're going to put about 15-ish seed beads on. Two. See, at one point they look like triangles, but then when I look at them like that, they don't. It's hard to say. Okay, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But they have like a clear coating on the outside, right? And they're like the line. The color is line. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're just so pretty. 13, 14, 15. Guys, if they had, I'll go over on Danielle's page. If she still has these in stock, I'll put a link in the description box in case you want to grab them. They're very pretty. All right, so now we have to decide what side are we doing here. So let's do this side, right? So we're gonna put our bead stringing wire through that loop. Sorry if that went dark, that was weird. Probably because my big old meat paw is there. Okay, so let's just do it this way. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this, I know I'm moving them around, but we're gonna make this guy small on this side. Oh, bring your beads all down here because we don't want to. There we go. Make sure we're not. Are we twisted? Am I? What is happening here? Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and put this end through our crimp tube. Okay. And then pull all that down and pull our tail down a little bit smaller. I'm just going to make a tail a little bit smaller. I don't need a whole large tail. I'd rather have it for the length of my necklace. Of course, now I made it too small. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. So now we have our two loops are connecting here. And it's going to make it a little bit bigger because I might not be able to cut that little tiny nubby. All right. Now we're going to get our magical crimping pliers and we're going to get this loop inside of there, right? And again, I'm going to just push down slightly so this way I know I'm not getting any casualties in there. And then I'm going to take it to its side. There we go. And I'm just going to rotisserie it, roll it around in there, crimp it up, do all of the things. Making sure we're not compromising any beads, but also making not a mess. Not making a mess, friends. Don't make a mess. We have this little ball, and maybe have to do one more little squish. There we go. Okay. And then you can either cut the tail. See, in my brain, I wondered if I made bigger loops. I don't know, but I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty. Okay, we're gonna go with it. So we're gonna cut this. Okay, we're done with those pliers. And we're gonna cut this tail. Maybe. Okay. All right. And now we are going to start stringing. So I'm going to start with a bicone because this, and we're going to do a flower cap going this way. So it'll look like when it's strung up, it'll kind of be like, it'll sit like that. I think that's kind of cute. Okay. You don't have to put the bicone there if you just want this to cover more of your loop. I'll show you what that looks like. Let's do it that way. So then it kind of covers up that crimp area. So we'll take this bicone out. We don't need you right now, sir. Okay, but we do need this bicone. So let's put this bicone on. Maybe that bicone was extra from somewhere. I don't even know. And then we're going to do a frosty crystal and then a bicone. We are spacing everything out with bicones. And then we're going to do a crystal, a flashy crystal. We're going to do a bicone. And then we're going to do one of these etched beads. And then we're going to repeat that. So bicone, crystal, flashy crystal. I was like, what is it? It sounded like the dog was eating something, but she's over here. Her and Mike is like grooming her. And all in her ears. Mike loves to be in her ears. I don't understand. Okay, and so now this bead cap, we are going to be facing it this way. So it's going to go in the opposite direction of the other one. So that's this little portion that we have. I just thought it was a cute little portion, right? So we have that. Now we're going to work on the middle portion, which let's throw the bicone in here since it's here. Throw a bicone on. And then we're just going to make up a little bit of length here. And then we'll measure everything, guys. But I did, like I said, I made this necklace previously, although I did not have the seed bead loops in it. So it might be a little bit longer than I had made previously. But the necklace, my sample necklace was about 18.5 inches, a little bit, almost 19 inches. But so we'll see what this is. This one might be closer to 20, which I think 20 will be fine too. I wouldn't go anything longer than 20 because I don't think it will hang. It won't look nice. I think when you have larger dangles like this on a necklace, I think that they look better closer up to the neck. I think they wear better. When you have, like I said, like a bib style, like when you have a bib style dangle. Now, if you just have a pendant with dangles on it, sometimes that's cute longer. But I think like a bib style is cute shorter. Okay, we're just stringing along, my friends, stringing along. You guys, we have 2 lives tomorrow. We have 1 live tomorrow and 1 live on Saturday. So if you guys aren't doing anything tomorrow around 8:30 p.m. Eastern, you want to hang out with Jennifer Miller and crew, Jody will be there. Our friend Stacy will be there. I will be there. I don't think I'm going to be designing. I think I'm, moderating, which is fine. I enjoy that. I enjoy that part of my life. Which is good, guys, because I'm going to be honest. I haven't had, we usually do Jesse James over there, the Magical Mystery Bead Box, but I haven't really had a chance to play with it much lately. So it's a good thing that I'm not expected to have a design because I don't have one. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and start our flower caps again. So now these flower caps are kind of facing each other. All right, and then we're going to string up this portion, which is bicone. And then Saturday, we will be over there with Danielle on Seed Bead Saturday. I believe it's the Sam's Bead Shop Seed Bead Saturday, so I'm really excited for that. I love when Danielle does the Sam's Bead Shop. Her projects for Sam are always really amazing. Like, her projects are always amazing, but I really love her projects with Sam. And then, I get to hang out with all of you guys, which is a bonus. Super, super bonus. Okay, and then we are just about done this portion. So again, we got this guy going on this side, which is good because, oh no, you know what? That might be hard to crimp, right? I think I'm going to have to add, you know what we're going to do? We're going to add some seed beads here, because if I do this and I put the crimp tube in there, I'm not going to be able to get my pliers to crimp in there, and it's going to create a gap. And I don't want to do that. That's not fun. So let's put like 2 seed beads and then the crimp tube, and then that should take care of that. Let's see. Yeah, so here I'm going to put 1 more just to be safe. Nobody's going to know. It's fine. And we're going to put our crimp bead on, a crimp tube rather. See, now I'll be able to get in there and crimp that without much of a problem. I say that now, but all right, I guess I should have remembered how many I put on this side. Let's put on 10. Let's see how that looks. I won't put too many and cause this to be too long. You know what? Let's count how many we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, works for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 more, friends. 4 more. All right. And now we're going to come back down through this crimp tube. Okay. I think I'm going to try to put it through this seed bead too. I think that would be my best bet. I just don't know if it'll fit, because sometimes these smaller seed beads, you can only get one of these passes of these soft flex through it. Like the bigger 8-ohs and those kind, yeah, it's okay. You can get those through without a problem. Okay, and then we're just bringing our crimp tube down, bringing our loop down, bringing everything down, 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 down. There we go. So that's our loop right there. All right, so this part we do want to make sure we are not crimping a crunch. So we want to coil it up a little bit onto itself. Okay, and then, my friends, we're going to crimp. Now that's a little bit tight in there. I know if I were to crimp without doing any space, I would probably break one of these beads. But I did create that little bit of space with my finger. We're going to come in here and just be very gentle and deliberate because we've got seed beads on both sides. And it is not unlike a seed bead to go in on your crimping pliers and not minding its own business. Right? Give that a tug. I think that's looking pretty good. Okay. And then we're just going to put our toggle on. And then we should be good, my friends. Let's see. Let me pull you back up a little bit so we can get the better. There we go. So here it is. Here's our necklace. Of course, it's going to be one of these necklaces that doesn't look as good on the bead mat as it would on the bust, but okay, that's what we have. I don't know. We'll put it on the thing later and we'll spin it around and you guys can see it. Okay. So I am going to put bigger. I'm going to put 7mm. Oh man, it's going to probably make this necklace so long. I don't know. We'll see. But I think I'm going to put, because these won't go over those seed beads, and that's okay. Oh, I got my pliers in the wrong hands, friends. That's all right. That's all right. It still did the job. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. Put these to the side. And let's bring in our 7mm because I don't have any in 6 right now. Those other ones were 5s, but I think the 7s will be good. They won't hang up, like they won't be too tight, so they won't hang up on the beads as much, I don't think. Is that the same color? No. Why does that one look so much brighter? Oh, they're 2 different color silvers. Okay. Okay, well, let's go with this more. Or do we want the brighter silver? Oh, I guess the brighter silver matches, huh? All right. All right. Okay. So let's open one of these bad boys. Always side to side, right? And then we're going to connect, I guess it doesn't matter, honestly. You know, yeah, I don't know. A 6 probably would have fit on there. Actually, I do have 6s next to me. Maybe we'll try a 6. I think, let me try a 6 on this side and see if I like it better. I also have 8s in here too, so we don't want to grab an 8. They fell on the floor a while ago, and so they're all like mixed up. The 8s and the 6s, there's some 4s in here. All kinds of stuff. All right, let's put this one. I might use the 6 instead because the 7 might add too much length. Yeah, I like the 6 better. So I'll go ahead and change that other one off camera, and then I'll bring our earrings out and I'll clean up this seed bead mess and put this on a palette, and then we'll be right back, friends. Okay, friends, and here is the necklace on this little, you probably won't be able to see it that well, but there she is. We'll do the little thing in the beginning, so you guys have probably already seen this necklace because we'll do it on the little, we'll do it on the little tray beforehand. Okay, so there's that. Let's put this to the side, and let's bring in a really cute earring because I noticed we're at like 50-some minutes, and I'm trying to get this down a little bit shorter. So let's go ahead and put this guy over to the side, and we'll bring in our earring, and it's a very simple earring, my friends. We just did the flower front facing like so with a dangle. So that's what that looks like. So let's go ahead and bring in our let's bring in our components. And I have a bunch of stuff in here. You don't need all this, friends. You don't need all this. But you do need some bead stringing wire. And did you notice, guys? Let me see if I had... Let me see what my scraps look like. Yeah, these scraps are definitely not long enough to make earrings with. I think we used... I'm going to use 8 inches. I think that's what I used for this earring. I think. We'll see, friends. We'll find out together. Okay. All right. So we... Oh, shoot. We need the crimp tubes, right? Didn't I bring crimp tubes out? Oh, that's right. Because, oh my gosh, you guys, I need 2 crimp tubes. Oh my goodness. I don't think I have any more silver in here. I forgot to look. Well, that's okay. Because I'm going to do something that I tell you guys never to do. But I'm just because I have an emergency right now. Because I'm out of silver crimp tubes. I'm just going to bring in my Bead-A-Line crimp tubes and hope for the best. Okay? That's just what we're going to do. Because I'm out of silver and soft flex. And I don't think... The Bead-A-Line works better on the soft flex than the soft flex works on the Bead-A-Line. If that makes any sense. Okay. Let's say a prayer. Thank God it's only earrings, friends. If it was necklaces or a bracelet, I don't know. But earrings, they tend to be lighter. So I think that we'll be okay. First, let's make our dangle. Because we have way too much... I don't know what all... I don't even need eye pins. I think this was just all in there for fun. So, let's put... We just need one. We need that. Let's put all this other stuff in here. Okay. Oh, there's another. Man, I just got head pins all over the place. All right, let me bring you guys back down a little bit. That's up, Kyle. Back down. Okay. There we go. And we still need our crimping pliers, so we'll keep them at the ready. But let's go ahead and straighten this guy out a little bit. Oh, did you see what I did, guys? I didn't use my nylon part. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't strip the wire, though. It still feels really smooth. That's odd. All right. So that's odd. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. And I think we just make a little simple dude there. And I think that's... where are my round nose pliers? Okay, they're over there. So we're going to create the space in here. So we're just going to take the tip of our pliers and we're going to bend the wire over. And then we're going to make us a wrap. We want to keep the loop fairly not huge, but also not real small, because it's going to be dangling off the bottom of our earring here. So let's go ahead and spin this dude around. See, look at that. Broke off, but that's okay. Okay, I'm just going to take my finger and complete the rest of that wrap. And that's what we have. Cute little wrap. And we're just going to cut it. Oh my goodness. It's very tedious. Don't cut the loop, Kyle. Hold on, friends. Sometimes, let me just grab this guy because he's being difficult. Okay. There we go. I was about to think that was never going to happen, my friends. I was about to think that. I'm like, man, this video was great until now. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and get this dude in there. Just being careful. And I just give it a little spin. Okay, there we go. Oh, hold on, I'm just take it off camera real quick because I can't see. Okay. All right, friends, and now we get to do the fun part. So let's take this bead stringing wire and we're going to put our little dangle dude on there. He's going to go directly under our bead stringing wire. We're going to bring those ends together and then we're going to put on a crimp. I dropped it. I'm going to put on a crimp. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to compare loops here. So we want a little bit smaller. About right there. I think that'll be good. And we're going to get our crimpers back out. And we're going to settle them right over that crimp. And we're going to do the squeeze. And we'll have our box shape onto the side. Making sure that we are lining that up. And doing a twirly whirl. Twirly whirl. Okay. So now this is what we have. And then we are going to separate these wires. Front and back like we did before. Oh no. We're missing something, friends. Hold on. What in the heck? Would be helpful if we had that. Okay. I'm like, wow, this is just going swimmingly. Oh shoot, we don't have the bead. Okay. Just move all this stuff to the side. Okay, so we're going to separate these out like we did. We're going to go front facing through the front wire. And then the back wire goes through the back. Or the bottom wire goes through the back. Okay, and then we're going to pull that down. Just like we did with the other ones. All right, so then that's what we have. And now let's use this as our guide, right? Let's see about how far down. Okay, so let's bring this down just a little bit more. So I'm trying to move both ends at the same time. And then I'll just pull back a little bit, creating that space. So I think that's about good. That's good. All right, so then we're going to bring these two wires together up here, and then we're going to put on our second crimp tube. Okay, drop that on both wires. And then we are going to come with this other wire. Now our ear wire is going to be going this way. So we want to make sure our loop is going like this is facing us. So we want to make sure our loop is going away from us. So then everything will fit nicely. And again, just checking on our spacing. Okay, I think that's looking good. I'm gonna hold this crimp here, and it doesn't matter what side you take. Just take one of these other sides and put that through your tube. Okay. I guess we didn't really need 8 inches. You could probably have done this with 6 inches. I didn't remember, guys. I made this a couple, like, last week. Maybe Monday. I think actually I did it Monday. So, a couple of days ago. So you see how our loop is facing us? And then our ear wire is going away from, the loop is going away from us. So it'll fit in there really nicely. All right, so let's look at this loop. Okay. Make that a little bit smaller. So this wire back here, I will pull that down, and that will change the size of our loop. And then the other wire, this wire is just kind of a stabilizer. So I think that's looking good. And again, you always want to kind of compare, see where you're at. And let me make this just a skosh smaller. There we go. And we're going to lock this in, and we're just going to go ahead and crimp. Right? Keeping that loop front facing. So when you take it to the side, you want to make sure that loop is still facing front. So don't twist up too much. Right, there we go. And then one more side squish. There we go. Now we can cut all of these wires off. Just be careful because there's a lot of wires here. And you want to get them as close as possible. So what I like to do is, like, I will come right behind this one. And I will pull this wire taut as I cut, and that will give us a closer cut. Okay, here we go. And now let's do our ear wire. And I like to use these lever backs for for earrings that I'm doing the bead string and wire with, because I feel like if these are closed properly, I mean, if any really ear wires are closed properly, it's harder for it to escape. But I think these particular ear wires are just a little bit more safe because they open on the top, right? And then you close them, and there's just really no way that bead string wire can escape there. So there we have it, friends. There is our super cute earrings, and they came out really good. They came out really better than I expected. They're pretty even. So I hope you enjoyed this project, my friends. I know it's a cooler project, and we're loving these fall colors and all this, but I just thought it'd be a fun little way to break up some of the fall colors and do a little bit of something blue. I love it. All right, my friends, I hope you guys have a great night. I'm not sure if I'm going to film tomorrow, but we will definitely be over with Jennifer at 8:30. So if I see you there, guys, I will say hi. But until then, keep planting your magical beans and keep being kind to yourselves and each other, guys. You know, we're all in this together. So why not just be kind to each other, you know? All right, my loves, until next time. Bye.